Hey everybody, how's it going? Man, this camera angle is terrible. Bear with me a little bit. We're still getting some stuff set up. Be live, some race content. Free practice is already launched. I'm going to turn that on here in a minute. Still kind of like in limbo with the setup, just a little bit. Would be awesome if I had like everything a little bit more figured out after the move. Looks like we already got 15 in the lobby. Got some wild card drivers in here. Zap, how's it going, man? Table for two. How are you doing, Zap? Ruthless, hello. Trevor, hello, sir. Hope everybody's having a good time. We're just chilling for a minute, getting the last finishing touches turned on. All right, cool. That should be up and running now. Pit wall should be live. We're going to get switched right over into the free practice action and hang out for a little bit while I'm getting some stuff set up on the other screen. Chilling out and watching the music. Thank you all for joining us. My name is Wellcakes. You're watching 949 Sim Racing Community. We're getting ready for round 4. Kyalami, doing the endurance format. $80-minute race. Hopefully, game sound and everything is doing good. Let me turn the music down a little bit while we're hanging out. Over here. We're getting there. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for being patient while I get set up. For those that don't know, I just finished a move this past weekend. Me and the missus moved to a different part of the Northern Virginia area. Got a house. So I do think we have a smaller number of people that are participating. This time we did have some people that they're taking this as their drop round. Let's actually, I'm going to jump over while we are on board. Oh, we're still, for some reason, its autopilot is like being super stingy. Let's double check that real quick. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. Kemosith and the Crazy Rabbit 727 coming out on track. Last I checked, we had 37 people registered for this one. Looks like we had 40 that actually punched the sign-up button, so should be a good race. Got a small surprise. Small surprise. Small. Did anybody notice the Easter egg in the starting screen? That's a hint. Here, how about I fix this stupid camera? Hey, Dad, how's it going? Right. I need to fix this camera. Is that better? Yeah, it's better when I talk in the mic. Thank you guys for hanging out. Ryan McIntosh, wild card driver for the night in the wet, 149.815. It's pretty good. Just thought of something. Sec. I might have to wire up something real quick. Setup might be a little ghetto, but make it work. All right, I'm going to take a brief moment from Futsum with OBS real quick to jump into the stream. Folks, thank you again all so much for being patient while we're getting geared up for the race tonight. We've already got 6 people tuned into the channel. Thank you all so much for stopping by. This is 949 Sim Racing Community. I'm Whelpcakes. We're getting ready for round 4 of the 949 GT Sprint Series. Hopefully the sound levels are coming across okay. Hopefully you guys can hear everything all right. If you can't, please tell me in chat. John Espiritu and the Slava Ukraini Lamborghini out on track. Oh man, I just realized that my hat is completely goofed up my hair. That's okay. If you guys don't mind me looking just a little bit ragged. Fine. Oh, I know what I should try. Let's make sure that this still works. Hey! Still got picture-in-picture. Luke Southall comes across the line, shaves 3/10. You can't hear me over that handsome face. Carbon, how are you doing? You having a good night? Thank you for coming by, man. Really appreciate it. Ryan McIntosh on top of the timesheets at 49.815s, holding strong. We do have the endurance format tonight, Carbon. 80 minutes. Open pits. Should be a fun one. There's Will Brunner in the Firelight Esports AMG and Kevin Blanchett in the Sky High Beaver Motorsport Lexus out on track doing their thing. Oh. I have a surprise. Oh. For the folks that don't know, I have a special guest to co-cast with me tonight. And there was a little Easter egg in the starting screen. I don't know if anyone caught it or not. But, sir, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to the stream.
Fellas, good evening, everybody.
For those of you that don't know that voice, that is Mr. Trevor Jackson. For those that have known Trevor for a long time, know and love him. Sakame on Twitch, but now Trevor J. Trevor, thank you for joining me for tonight's broadcast. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Carbon's excited. I'm excited. Glad to have you here. The endurance format, round 4. I think you picked a good one because this is the only time we're running this. This is the only time we're running.
No less, too.
Yeah, in the rain at Kyalami, man. This is just going to be. It's going to be so interesting. We were flooded out last week at Misano, and that was like super tricky. I feel like Kyalami is going to be even better because the rain isn't as wild, but the randomness is kind of throwing people for a curveball. So.
Okay, maybe see some dry running later on, too?
It's possible. I mean, you can already see the dry line forming a little bit in the free practice session right now for, got like 21 minutes left of that.
Yeah.
As an ACC racer yourself, what was your thought of wet races, either in leagues or in like the endurance competitive events?
Avoid them at all costs. No. I mean, approach-wise, really all it was just kind of taking how you approach dry races and just dial it back however many % you need. I tried starting kind of like as easy as possible, like kind of, driving-wise, as easy as possible, and just kind of sort of start finding the limits as the weather progresses or as it goes on. Mostly in the practice session, you don't want to do that in the race, because then you will die. Yeah. I never liked them that much.
Yeah, the for me, like I like them, but that's mainly because I'm like, I feel like I'm crap in all weather. So if nothing else, rain gives me a little bit of variability that I don't normally get because most people avoid the wet races. But for me, I really like wet weather, especially in ACC. I feel like the ACC engine does a fantastic job. Colehawk says he's
agree with, yeah.
Colehawk says he's glad to hear you in the booth.
Mr. Colehop.
So real quick, we got less than 20 minutes in free practice before we get into the thick of it with qualification for our 80-minute endurance race. Real quick, tell us a little bit about what you've been up to lately, Trevor.
I've been teaching pretty much every day, 7 days a week. If I'm not teaching, I'm at band practice or rehearsal or working on solo stuff. I'm trying to get an album together that you guys, fellow streamers, anybody on Twitch can use royalty-free or whatever, DMCA-free, I think is what that's called.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That is pretty awesome. So if it's possible in Discord, if you want to ping me with like a link to some of the royalty-free stuff, if you have it posted up already, or any other like media links that you want, just blast them to me in Discord, and I'll make sure I get them added to our chat alerts and stuff like that. But glad to hear you're doing the music stuff, and that has been A lot of people have been missing you on track, but it seems like you've been having a lot of fun with the music stuff. Any like big goals or anything you're setting for yourself this year in 2022 with the music stuff in particular?
I'd like to get my original band up to at least like one show a month.
Mm-hmm.
Right now it's actually been working pretty well. But I'm kind of debating and toying with the idea of kind of doing another, or putting together a sort of Harris Heller Stream Beats sort of project. But I know he does a lot of genres and stuff, but I feel like you and me both agree that he does the lo-fi and synthwave stuff the best.
Yeah.
So I feel like having a more rock-oriented or non-electronic music-oriented project would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool. I have like instrumental stream music, royalty free for like rock, metal, those kinds of genres would be fantastic. I feel like that is a wonderful project, and be sure to let me know when you've got some stuff you want to try out on stream or something like. I'll gladly one, listen to your music, but also just play it on stream because I'm always looking for new stuff.
Sweet.
Alex is like, is that the mighty Trevor Jackson? It is indeed the Alex Rogers. And Alex Rogers has joined the chat. Oh, Matt, how's it going? Matt, King of Nerds, got a Thrustmaster TLCM load cell pedals and open wheel rim. Excited. Good to hear, man. Good to hear.
That's a good upgrade.
It is. The free practice session. Let's jump into some of this racing a little bit more. So you're able to get in and watch alongside with the spectate. And Josh McKean on top of the timesheets right now. Let's talk about Mr. McKean. His evolution as a driver in the past 3 seasons has been eye-popping. He went from, like, I think he was, like, upper bronze, lower silver, back when we called him bronze and silver, and has turned into, like, one of the top 3 threats in Division 1 in general. You've raced against Josh. Like, what's your take on his evolution on track? I don't know how much of the stream you followed, but you have raced against him. So I'm just kind of curious.
From what I remember racing against him in like the first few seasons compared to what I'm seeing right now, I haven't really followed with much. Excuse me. I've got 5 words. You love to see it. Yep.
It is definitely something that has been it's been catching people's attention. And I feel like, in general, Josh is starting to really take the fight to his teammate, Luke Southall. I mean, Luke has had
Southall's a teammate.
Yeah, Southall. I don't know if they're in the pairing for the team championships, but actually, I can double check that real fast. It's actually up on our website.
Part of the same parent team.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
Same parent team. Trying to find. So I'm not entirely sure if Protocharge Alpha is Southall and McKean. I need to pull that up from Patty's spreadsheet real quick and take a look. But Protocharge Alpha in the team championships only has like a 9-point lead on 949 Red, which is Coasty and Ed. And SGR is solidly in 3rd right now. So it's gonna be interesting to see how who's going to try and jump into the top 3 of the team championship. But yeah, talking about the Protocharge boys in particular, those two have just been duking it out pretty much all of Season 7. And it looks like Season 8 they're just picking up right where they left off. Josh McKean on top, 49.390 in the wet in 1.8. What kind of time does that sound like to you? Is that kind of like in the upper echelon of what you were used to seeing in 949, or what you were targeting back in the 1.7 days?
In terms of wet weather running, this is still heavy rain, so yeah, that's probably right about where you're aiming for.
Yeah.
Medium rain, low rain, you're kind of aiming the 41, I think? Or is that No, 43. Sorry.
Yeah, it is. It is right now. The top two are kind of 2/10 ahead of the field. It looks like we're up to about a second in terms of time, all the way back to the top 10. Right. Oh, Leo just confirmed that it is McKean and Southall for Protocharge Alpha. So that's going to be a dominant pairing in Division
Absolutely.
1. But still, like, those two on track, just fighting for their own championship, individual championship hopes could definitely open the door for anyone else in Division 1. So we'll see.
Definitely.
What's up, Josh?
I'm going to,
Go ahead.
pull up these. Sorry, I'm just going to say I'm pulling up these championship tables right now so I get the full scoop.
Indeed. Let me see. I think I have access to Patty's spreadsheet. See if I can find it. If so, I'll send you the Google Docs link as well. I don't think this is the standings. I think this is actually the registration, but let me copy it. Send it your way anyway. So yeah, so Scrubs Go Racing, Ravens Reptiles, third place in the team championship. That's Chris McNichol, Adams State, and they're pretty solidly in third. 19-point gap between them and Protocharge, SimSport, Pete Squared. So Pete Hutchings, Peter Greaves are Homeschool Racer on Twitch. Only 19 points back. And then Turn 1. Your Turn 1 boys in fifth, solidly. 13 points back.
Boys.
Yeah, it is. It's gonna be interesting. It's Brandon and Tez, I believe. Oh, it's Luke and Nick.
BMWs.
Okay, Luke and Nick. Okay, Leo went through like 3 iterations of what the team consists of, and Josh says, nope, it's Luke and Nick. Okay, cool, we got it. And we have a spreadsheet, so we've got facts on our side.
This is a very nice spreadsheet, by the way.
That is all down to Mr. Patty McNichol. Patty has been behind the scenes helping us out this season with doing the team championship stuff. And also been doing a survey. It's in the announcements for anyone in Discord channel that wants to go take it. Survey about, I believe it's like culture and sim racing for college. So I took it. I thought the questions were very insightful, and it was pretty cool. So if you're in our Discord and you want to go check it out, just look at the announcements channel. Help Patty out because he helps us out. So 10 minutes, 38 seconds left in free practice right now. Just looking at the broadcast app, we've got 35 of the registered 40 drivers in right now. And trying to think of what else. We do have pit wall up and running also, Trevor, if you're interested in using that as well. And for anyone in chat, !pit wall in chat. Spreadsheets. That's right. We only have the nicest spreadsheets. We got spreadsheets that are rated M for mature. Alex, how are you doing, man? How was your stream yesterday? I got to watch like a very tiny bit of it because otherwise my room is like, it looks like a bomb went off because I'm unpacking from the move, and I rushed, put the rig together. You've dealt with these sort of issues before, Trevor, so I'm pretty sure you can understand. Rushed to put the rig together. And you may not have dealt with this problem specifically, but something similar. I have a bit of a grounding issue. Like I sit in the rig, if I touch the wheel rim to the Fanatec base, everything shuts off. So it is straight up grounding.
That's not good.
It's straight up grounding to me in the chair, and I need to figure out why. So I then had to immediately tear the rig apart to try and start diagnosing what the problem was. And I couldn't do LFM races yesterday, and I was so sad, so incredibly sad. And But hopefully I'll get it diagnosed this weekend. It'll help.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, it is what it is. But
nice Fanatec quality, you know.
Here's the thing. I'm not going to blame it directly on them. The one thing I will say is that the Fanatec does create an electromagnetic field, the equivalent to like a tactical nuke. But it's yeah. When it works, it's fine. But that's when it works.
Yeah, the key is getting it working.
Yeah, exactly. Tez says, love you, Trev. You too, well. Thank you, Tez. Good luck with your race. Turn 1 NA, boys. Got to take the fight to the inside the top 5. Alex won a race, so it was a bit weird, in all honesty. Didn't really know what to do with myself. Well, then that means that all my bets failed, because just about every time the prediction came up of whether or not you were going to win or lose, I picked lose because everybody else picked win. But, you know. I just wanted to get the points.
Believing in him, huh?
No, I just wanted to get the points. No, I want Alex to win. If I don't get the points, that's fine. It's just also if I get the points, I'm also fine. Like it's just how it works.
Okay, I get you.
So go ahead.
What Tez needs to do? He's saying turn 1 for what? So what he needs to do is carry on the North American West Coast tradition in 9 for 9 at Kyalami by taking Chris McNichol for a nice 1080 spin.
Nice.
Down the front straight.
Nice. Excellent. Like, we're basically going to make the Olympic Summer Games in Kyalami, and the category happens to be skateboarding. Let's see if we can make
Exactly.
Chris do a kickflip.
Or figure skating, you know?
Yeah. So you reached out and you wanted to do this cast, and we just talked about like turn 1 and stuff like that. I don't know if you're capable of like talking about it or if it's a big secret or anything like that, but you'd also mentioned the idea of potentially doing some other casts in the future. Anything you can tell us about that?
I have absolutely nothing lined up.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm wrong.
I was talking with AJ, he's one of the head guys at Turn 1, about casting. So I don't know if it's like Turn 1 in conjunction with other teams putting on like their own races or their own events or whatever, but yeah, some of those team events, team races sort of thing. I'm looking at running those as well.
And that would just be fantastic, because more streaming with Trevor is just like A+ in my book. You could read the phone book on Twitch. I'm sure you'll find a way to make it entertaining for someone like me. It's just like it's good to have you. It's good to have you back doing the streams. The music streams were a lot of fun. Hope to see more of those soon. But
yeah, definitely.
We have the closing minutes of free practice right now. Will Brunner, Firelight Esports, and now back to Brad Sievers, the partner of Firelight Esports, on track in the Maka, getting ready to try and improve the time. Shane Martin does improve his time, jumps 19th fastest. In the Logitech McLaren G Challenge, which is a beautiful livery on that McLaren, by the way. And you as a historically McLaren main, is that fair to say? It's one of the prettier in-game liveries.
I think it's quite nice.
It's 24. What? Sorry, go ahead. I was reading Alex. He's like 24-hour phone book reading endurance with reader swap.
Oh, yes.
What is, like, Alex? Alex.
We'll go through the different editions, too.
Well, let me ask you a question, Alex. Do you get a phone book? Because if you do, it's 2022, mate. Like, they stopped sending them around here. There's no point. You're just killing trees. Yeah. So, the phone book. Matt's saying he finally got a sub 24 at Spa. Good start.
You love to see it.
Luciano Yads, Madhouse Academy. One of the 2 Madhouse entries, I believe, this season. Majority of the Madhouse guys have been focusing on the esports enduro stuff, so we don't have the usual suspects from the Mad Canadians here, but !Mad in chat, and feel free to join their community and follow along with their exploits in esports, because they're a bunch of good dudes. and they're friends of 949. So question for you, Trevor. With the we're getting ready to go into the qualifying portion of 949. So far with Season 8, the dealer's choice mechanic, the big grids, the different formats. How have you felt about Season 8's content so far? I don't know how much of the races that you've watched. I'm just kind of curious.
It seems really cool. I think the drivers voting on the track to do is really nice because you can't sort of choose your car in anticipation of the calendar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it makes nice variability, you know?
That was something that when Costi came up with that idea, it was just like, at first I was like, man, I don't know if this is going to work. And then as we talked about it a bit more, like, because I was always like concerned of like the voting aspects, like, are people going to think it's a gimmick? Are they not going to want to do it? But the thing that has been interesting to watch is the amount of driver participation we've gotten in the voting, alongside with the fact that I think with the exception of the absence of the M6, I think this is probably the most diverse grid in terms of manufacturer presence we've ever had.
I was noticing that.
So if those are all like side effects to this mechanic, then sign me up for doing it this way, like forever. Like,
yep.
Because I mean, I know a lot of people get frustrated when you meta the calendar, or when you did meta the calendar and then a patch comes out and now all of a sudden, you know, you're
3 seconds off.
Yeah, you're driving the Honda post 1.8.
Yeah.
Sorry, Zabsy. The thing I will say is, Costi came up with the idea. Hats off to him. It's been absolutely awesome. Alex says he doesn't even know his own phone number.
You know, I've gotten a lot of crap from my partner, justifiably, because I have memorized my work's phone number. I have memorized my phone number. I've memorized almost all of my family's phone numbers. I have not memorized their number in 4 years.
All right. I mean, I don't know. I guess me and my wife started dating back in the day before like smartphones. So like knowing someone's phone number was like essential ways of contacting. But you know, that said, you can just put that in the category of old man screams at cloud kind of category. But
it's okay. You're not old. Don't worry.
Oh, I'm practically ancient. So like I'm not quite to the point where if what's up, Eric? Trackalicious Eric is in chat, Mr. Eric Gukasian. !TSR in chat if you're looking for the Trackalicious Sim Racing Discord. They're going to be... well, actually, I don't know. Are you guys doing a Thursday night race tonight? Because we have the Enduro this weekend. And for anybody who's interested in that, 2 hours and 40 minutes, !Enduro in chat. Trackalicious 949 Winter Endurance Championship. It's a pretty sweet deal.
Zabsy jump up to P2.
See, that's the thing, though, man. Zach is just so freaking quick, and he's always a threat. Always a threat. It's like if you wake up in the morning, there's like you know, there's like 3 facts that I live by when I wake up in the morning.
Okay.
The sun, it rises in the east. We all know that.
Yep.
2, cereal is cold soup. And 3, Zabsy is a threat in any given race. That's just the 3 facts that you wake up in the morning and you realize. So that's...
Him and Southall, I have to say, are 2 of the most consistent drivers I have ever raced against. Ever.
Indeed. I believe... So Uncooked Cabbage is like, I believe I won't die. Skip week for GT4. So here, they're doing a NERB detailed track walk with the legend himself from Cardo Racing School to prep for the Saturday Enduro, which is going to be fabulous. Anybody that's looking for some CRS guidance, be sure and check that out. And !Coach in chat. Cardo Racing School. We're officially partnered with him. He's a good dude. He's a friend of 949. What a code to live your life by. You're right, Alec. I'm 100%. That's the thing. You know what? I got up. My pulse was still going. I was able to approach. I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning, Trevor. I had physical therapy. I live now like 35 minutes from where I have to have physical therapy, which in terms of traffic during actual like peak usage, it's terrible. It's like it turns 35 minutes into an hour and 15, like no time. Although I don't have San Diego traffic, so I don't know if you're gonna say, well, yeah, that is like it. You think that's bad? How embarrassing for you. But yeah, woke up at 4 a.m. to get to a 6 a.m. PT session. It was terrible.
I commend the effort.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I have these like massive circles around my eye. I'm super tired. But we've got a special guest for the folks that are just joining. Trevor Jackson was Sakami on Twitch TV. Now Trevor J on Twitch TV. Are you going by Sakami on YouTube?
Yes, sir.
So Sakami on YouTube. Try Los Angeles traffic. Did that for 5 years. Blame my receding hairline on that. John, California is a place I've never been to. I've always wanted to go. Always wanted to go.
I tell you what, you will absolutely hate California only because of the traffic.
Only because of the traffic? But everything else is just like
traffic.
Completely lovable.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Like it'll be scorching hot. You'll love California until it's 100, maybe 95 degrees. You're in a car where your AC just broke.
Yeah.
You're stuck in traffic right in the 805 downtown San Diego. It takes you 2 hours to go 10 miles maybe.
God, that's ridiculous.
That's when you're gonna hate life.
That's ridiculous.
And Los Angeles is worse too.
Real quick, let's jump in. We're in qualifying now, and we do have split qualifying between Division 3, Division 4, and then the Division 1, Division 2 guys will get to go out. So the first half is for Division 3, Division 4, and we got a significant number of drivers in the server now. We're at 36, so 4 short of the 40 that registered. And just looking at the track map, let's pull that up real quick on the stream so people can kind of see what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about with spacing. Like you can see this massive cluster of drivers that are just now going through Sector 3 right now and down the front straightaway all the way to Turn 1. It's going to be imperative for you to get clear air. So right now I'm looking at, let's take a look at car 21. JQ kind of being a little bit patient and then jumping out on track in some clear air. JQ's in the Lexus running Emil Frey colors in Division 4. Been really strong this season. In fact, we're going to take this as an opportunity to talk about the standings for a moment. Jump into that real quick. So that should be up on our site, 949.racing. And JQ is actually on top of Division 4 by 6 points over Tyler Kozlakis in the Tag Heuer Porsche entry. JQ, you don't know him, Trevor, but I've raced with JQ almost as long as I've been sim racing. Used to actually play Project Cars 2 and ACC on a keyboard and mouse. No lie.
Keyboard and mouse.
Keyboard and mouse. Got a wheel. Took a little bit for him to get up to speed with it, but he's starting to get the hang of it. But yeah, keyboard and mouse warrior. So the split qualifyings, you've been a part of this sort of format before, especially on a wet track like Kyalami. What is your feeling on getting that good spacing, getting out on track in that clean air for something like a Kyalami lap?
The most important part, well, yeah, so clean air is really the most important at turn 1, 2, 3, 4, turns 5 and 6, probably that S section, downhill S section.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't matter too much until, what is that, crocodile? Alligator? Something like that?
Yeah, crocodile.
So you can kind of get away with traffic. You just got to be praying you catch it at the right time. Whoever that Lexus was that was going out real late had the right idea.
Yeah, I feel like going out a little bit late, getting a banker lap in, that's going to be critical. Because we're looking right now, and just in the Division 3, Division 4, like up and down the order, we've got about, I want to say 5 seconds of gap right there between the top and the bottom, because I know Will's a little bit quicker than 12 seconds. He's probably just trying to get around, get his tires warmed up. Can we get a bit of insight on Papa Kami's OP performance in Enduros? So tell us a little bit about Papa Kami. He has been, I haven't gotten to see him race in very many leagues lately, but he has been doing the 949 or the Trackalicious 949 Winter Endurance Championship. And dude, his pace has just like every time I see him get in the car, it seems like he just gets like another level faster. And I'm just like, at what point does he plateau? Or is he going through the phase right now where he thinks he's plateaued? It's just he's still dusting everybody.
Well, he puts in a good solid 2 hours every night on the sim. I don't know if it's practice or in a race or what, but
Wow.
he's absolutely putting in the hours, so that doesn't surprise me.
That's wild. You know, we've known you and your dad for almost as long as we've been doing the 949 stuff. In period.
I think years at this point.
Yeah, years. Man, I can't believe it, man. We're in our 3rd year of doing this. This is our 8th season for the 949 GT Sprint Series. That was quite a spin from Will Campbell. And the autopilot, apologies folks, but it's doing its own thing, so I'm just going to bounce around a little bit. Sorry about that. If that's been the most unentertaining picture-in-picture ever. But we've known you guys for a long time, and so in terms of like pace right now, I mean, you've had some serious time off doing the music stuff right now. Where your dad is in terms of the pace right now, do you feel like if you were even like race fit and stuff like that, you feel like he'd give you a run for your money?
I think I'd have him on some tracks.
Okay.
But he would definitely be pushing me along. That's for sure. I don't want to say I'm faster than him because he's absolutely faster than me right now. But
yeah. That, like I said, just watching your dad's evolution. As long as we've been doing this, it's like it's wild because he's just like, yeah, it's just been a lot of fun to watch. Paula is showing up tonight. Yes, Paula currently 3rd, 1.19. Now 4th. Oh, look at this, Cody. So we were looking at free practice before. The rain has probably changed a little bit on track, but Cody Grease with the Adept Porsche in the 49s, which is where the top was. Pretty close. So it looks like we might have a little bit of the rain is the great equalizer effect taking hold. So it's
which
gonna be
always makes for a very, very fun race.
Indeed. So we've got 40 minutes, I think, no, 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in qualifying for Division 3, Division 4, I think. And then Division 1, Division 2 will head out on track. Cody Grease on top. Justin Beachley from Trackalicious. He's currently 2nd, 0.84 off the pace. And then Rogerio Santos, who's been was a wild card entry. Now he's a permanent entry in 949. This is his first season with us. And he's been kind of racing. I've been seeing his name pop up everywhere. He's been doing Trackalicious stuff. I think the endurance stuff. He's done 949. I saw him in World GT with Tora. I've kind of seen him a little bit of everywhere. And him being 9/10 off of that 49.275, it's looking pretty good for a Division 4 driver to mix it up with the Division 3 folks.
Almost a complete second over his next rival.
Yeah,
Car 21.
Yeah. JQ. So JQ's got a bit of a run for his money. JQ though had a good start to his season. Oh, Rogerio Santos off into the wall there. I believe that was on the exit of Cheetah. the treacherous cheetah with the massive sausage that everyone talks about. I'll let that. I'm gonna let that hang in the air.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely don't have any history there at all. Nope, not at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
but I was going to comment. Sorry, real quick.
Yeah.
Brunner, car 98 was just in front of Cody Gress, car 43 of all of last lap.
Mm-hmm.
While I believe both of them were on a flying lap, I imagine.
Yeah.
The Porsche was a bit faster, so he was right on his tail. That is definitely going to be something to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this next lap is going to be something to watch car 43 on, and in saying that, he just pulled over. What I was trying to get at was that was definitely going to play a bit of a psychological thing with him.
Yeah.
I know it absolutely did for me, especially like if you start getting annoyed or anything.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to affect your next lap. So if the rain conditions are improving, car 48 and 39 are still on the lap, but 98 is the quickest car on track that is still on a valid lap right now, so he might have a good shot if the conditions improve somehow.
Yeah, track evolution could definitely be in play here. Actually, let's jump on board with Brunner as he finishes this lap out into Crocodiles. I just love that we have a turn in ACC or in sim racing in general called Crocodiles and Cheetah. Like wonderful names.
Every corner in this track is named something beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, there's barbecue. Who doesn't like barbecue?
Exactly.
So Will getting a little bit of slip out of Ingwe and across the line. Looks like he must have missed out on his best by a little over a tenth. So Sector 3 caught him out, and he's back in the pits.
Up to P2.
Yeah, there we go. That's Lat G. So Lat G on Lateral G on Twitch or Will Campbell in the 364. Sky High Beaver Motorsport, Maka. That's more of the pace I'm looking for from Will. So Division 3, Division 4. Right now, provisional pole, Cody Grease, and then we've got Will Campbell and Justin Beachley, your top three. But the Division 1, Division 2 runners are going to be heading out on track. And let's follow along with this guy right here, one of your Turn 1 mates. Actually, wasn't Turn 1 when you were still sim racing, was part of the Karimba family. But Mr. Brandon Meyer in the M4. Driving.
I do wish he joined Turn 1 way quicker.
Really? Okay.
It would have been so fun to race with him.
Yeah, Banshee 2X for anyone on Twitch that's looking for a fun streamer that not only does ACC stuff, also big into doing like Ace Combat stuff and like Halo Infinite. Oh man, here we go. Now we got people backing up as we're getting close to the end of the lap. This is going to be interesting. So let's use the camera controls real quick to jump to the front of the line, and looks like it was, I'm trying to find who was the first one out to go on the flyer. Oh, it was Luke. Luke and then Josh.
Mm-hmm.
So Luke, Josh, Zach. So a proto charge 1, 2, 3 out of the pits to set the flyer right now. We're going to ride on board real quick as we go into Turn 1 or Crowthorne. Do a quick track walk with Zach Patterson, who races for Yaz Motorsport as well in SRO GT World Challenge America. Going into Juxay Sweep right now. Talk about, real quick while we're watching this lap, Sakame, the usage of the full width of the track on some of these corners, because it seems like it's very important here at Kyalami.
You got to treat the curbs as just extra tarmac, essentially. There's not many curbs that'll throw you off either. The inside of this turn, not sure on the name.
Clubhouse.
Clubhouse. You want to clip it a little bit. You don't want to go completely over it. Same with this S section, especially the second half of it. But yeah, a lot of it's just treating curbs just like extra tarmac, just like the exit of that S section as well.
Yeah, and using that full track width allows you to take a wider turn arc. But the secret about the wider turn arc is you're making the corner as straight as possible to carry as much speed through the corner. And it looks like even in the wet conditions with a little bit of the dry line forming for the Division 1, Division 2 runners, Zach is using that to the full potential right now, and I'm going to be interested to see what kind of time he can put with the Honda, because the Honda's, even though it kind of got bopped a little bit in 1.8, I think it's still a really good car around here at Kyalami, but we're going to see here in a second.
He seems to be doing pretty good work with it, that's for sure.
So Josh goes to the top with a 48.0. Zach Patterson with a 49.5. So 48.0. Hutch with a 48.775. Let's talk about Hutch for a moment, because last season...
Is he in the Aston Martin?
He is in the Aston Martin. Isn't that...
Oh my
Doesn't
God.
that boggle your mind?
Yes.
So Mr. Hutchings in the Persona 4 Protocharged Sim Sport Aston Martin livery. So last season we had an enduro race around, I think an enduro race around Suzuka in the wet. And everybody, so race starts, it's like 4 a.m. I think at race start. But there had been rain, but it stopped when the session loaded. Track conditions still wet, no rain. The majority of the field goes on slicks. There's like, I want to say like a little more than a handful of drivers that stay on the wets. Hutch is one of those. And then he just like completely blasts off into the distance. That is something that I feel like, especially in a race with these conditions, I feel like Hutch is one of those drivers that has a little bit of that X factor from a big brain plays perspective. So you got to kind of watch out for him. You've raced with Hutch before. Does that kind of like, is that kind of line up with like your perception of Hutch in races, particularly with mixed conditions like this one?
He's a very big risk taker, and a lot of the time it pays off. I mean, that's kind of, I don't want to say that's how he drove in a lot of the iRacing endurances that we did together, but yeah, he likes taking risks. Sometimes he's in the wall at the end of Ascari. Sometimes he is, 2 seconds ahead by the end of the first lap.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where I feel like people are definitely going to have to watch out for him, because again, from big brain perspective, like he's a threat. He's a threat. Zach's a threat from the strategy 1-2 of those two and Protocharged Sim Sport. And not only that, they're going to be in Discord talking to one another too. So unless they're like holding back some information for their personal race, or there's just like a general disagreement, we could see Hutch and Zabsy like guiding the strategy a little bit for the team. So it's definitely going to be fun to watch what the Protocharged boys end up doing for the race. A 47.9 for Josh McKean in the wet conditions.
I don't want to take away from Josh, because that's a fantastic lap. I mean, 4/10 ahead of Ryan in the wet is very impressive. The Aston absolutely loves this track in my experience, because I did the 24 Hours of Kyalami here, the RCI World Tour race here, in the Aston in the mixed conditions. If you get the setup right, it is the best car on track. So I'm definitely not surprised seeing three Astons in the top 5. But if Josh can keep making it work for him, that's going to be a little worrying for Mr. Ryan.
It is. Ryan McIntosh, for those that don't know, he's a wild card entry. So that kind of predates you a little bit, Trevor. But this year with the fixed reservation, with the fixed entry list at 50, we're allowing drivers on the reserve list to participate when drivers that are registered for the season and actually have a place, and they don't, when they can't show, when they've got a drop round or whatever, we try to switch over and let those reserve driver lists join in as wild card entries. Not committed to the full season this time around. Ryan's got other things he wants to do, but joining us as a wild card entry and kind of, doing what Ryan does. Maybe a little out of practice, not the fastest guy on track, but still punching inside the top 3 like it's his job. So I'm sure you're not surprised by that.
I am definitely clipping you saying he is not the fastest, and I'm going to use that everywhere.
Okay.
But he's definitely. I'm surprised he's not P1, even if he hasn't practiced. He could go an entire summer without driving, and if he's not P1, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, the thing is about Ryan in particular is that for him to come into this season with Southall and McKean at the top of their games, respectively, and just split them in the top three with a minute and 20 seconds left, it says a lot for the caliber of driver that Ryan is. Racing in the Volante Racing Porsche. Yeah, he's hitting hard right now. Another driver that's hitting hard on single lap pace we're following right now is Mr. Nick Gonzalez, although it looks like he might have had a mistake in Sector 1, down 0.6 on his fastest, but somebody who's up on his time by 0.3 in the Turn 1, NA Pro M4, Mr. Dan Tazaro, who has been really taken to that BMW M4. I'm just so glad he's not in the M6.
Me too. I've been trying to get him out of the M6 for probably 6 months.
Looks like he's going to upgrade his time by about 0.2, which is going to punch him into P6 right in front of Zach Patterson. So Josh McKean's still sitting on provisional pole. He's going to extend by like 1/10 if he can convert this. Right now, the gains are about in the realms of nickels and dimes. Coasty.
Sorry.
Go ahead, sir.
I was going to say, he caught Josh up by about 1/10.
Yep.
But he completely binned it at turn 1 on his last lap.
Yep, so that's probably going to call it for Ryan because he's in the pits while we're in max wait time. Flying laps do count. Just looking right now for them gains.
Southall has a good chance here to get on the front row as well.
Southall has a good chance. Somebody who is in Sector 3 right now with track evolution, and I think Ed's going to get some gains, but let's focus in on Southall right now. I think Ed's going to pull himself out of the cellar, and we're going to see where he ends up when he comes across the line, if his lap's still valid. But right now we're following Southall, who's 0.4 up. This would be enough.
That would be good enough for P2.
Yeah, it would be good enough for P2. And if he can get a good exit out of Ingwe, he might be able to mine another couple tenths. But it looks like his Sector 3 is just catching people out. That exchange out of corner exit from Crocodiles, it seems like it's just not enough.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Less than
barely.
Yeah, less than 1/100 of a second between him and McIntosh.
Now, forgive me if I'm wrong, but P2 is the nicer grid spot at Kyalami, right? Because P1's on the outside.
I think so. Now that's the thing. You say it's the nicer. It is a good spot if you're side by side going into turn 1. I just feel like P1 has the better entry. Because Kyalami's turn 1 is just so freaking large. You could land a jumbo jet on it, and I feel like P1's got that better entry, especially because if you can maintain side-by-side through turn 1, you've got an amazing setup for that switchback. You can pinch the driver off into Juxay sweep and into barbecue. That is that's just a really good. I feel like the outside is a good defensive position. I was just about to mention that actually too. It's really easy to keep it stuck with the driver on the inside around that sort of S section right after turn 1, and it's really easy to have the straighter line if you get a lucky bounce off the curb. You gotta make sure you get a lucky bounce. Yeah, it's all down to chance, and for me, I like to eliminate chance from my stuff. It's more, I like it to be more down to like strategy and position more than luck, but that's me. But I'm also slow, so take what I say with a grain of salt. Let's take a look real quick at the qualifying order that finished it up. Josh McKean, pole position. Southall on the front row alongside. These two have been in the top 2 spots, I want to say at least 2 out of the 4 rounds. They've definitely been in the top 3, I want to say at least 3 out of the 4 rounds. It's going to be interesting. Ryan McIntosh, 3rd on the grid alongside Pete Hutchings. Hutch getting inside the top 5 with the Aston for Protocharge. And then we got Gonzo is next to Tez, your boy Tez, third row on the grid in the M4. So we got Proto Charge in turn 1, row 3, Patterson, and then newcomer last season, Mike Moening, who's racing with Chum Motorsports in the Aston Martin P7, P8 respectively. These two have been duking it out a bunch over the last 2 seasons. Chris McNichol, Brandon Meyer, P9, P10 on the grid. Cody Grace with the Adept. Look at that. The Division 3 Adept Porsche P11. That's a little out of place.
Well above his weight.
Because we got Coasty and Ed Kerstetter, the 949 Sim Racing Red pairing, P12, P13. Alongside Kerstetter on the 7th row of the grid, we've got Shane Reese in the 949 UK Porsche. Then we've got Kevin Blanchett, Sky High Beaver Motorsport Lexus P15. Not punching really well in the wet with the Lexus around Kyalami. That's kind of surprising, actually. Will Campbell, Sky High Beaver in the Maka P16. Homeschools in P17 alongside Justin Beachley from Trackalicious. Rogerio Santos, P19. Look at that Division 4 runner. P19 on the grid inside the top 20. And then Will Brunner with Firelight Esports, 20th on the grid. I'll do a quick rundown of the rest, and let's talk about the outliers. Luciano Yads from Madhouse alongside Justin Moffitt from Crazy Rabbits. Paula Brady, Scrubs Go Racing, Ravens Reptiles. I think she's actually Donk for hire. And then Carlos Guzman in the Arcane Motorsport entry. Kemosith, he's in the Crazy Rabbits M4 alongside James Brown from Scrubs Go Racing, the godfather of Soul himself. Shane Martin and JQ, P27, 28. Brad Sievers, Tyler Kozlakis, P29, P30. Then we got John Espiritu in the Ukrainian Lamborghini P31 alongside Patty McNichol in the Ryder, in the Shag Wedge. Jose Guzman, P33. Steve K is in P34 in the McLaren. Justin Rowley is in the 404 Maka. Got Mason Hart in the 26 McLaren, running the Wonderbread livery. And then Brevin Yesk, who's actually up at the top end. Let's use this as an opportunity with 1:40 left, Trevor, to talk about cars that are out of place here. So Brevin Yesk, inside the top 5 in Division 3, stone last on the grid. That's going to be tough. Although maybe
a very difficult race.
maybe a strategy big brain play, because again, we got 80 minutes of endurance racing and open pits. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. But talking real quick about people that are kind of like sticking out a little bit. If I'm looking at those Division 2 rankings, I think the first card that I see that's kind of like sticking out is Mike. Although Mike's upper echelon of Division 2. So the fact that he's kind of like intermingled with like the lower rankings of Division 1's not that big a deal. But Cody, I'm looking at Cody Grace in the Adept Porsche and Rogerio Santos in P19 in the T-Rex Maka. Those two are really kind of sticking out for me. What's your thoughts so far on the qualifying grid?
I'm not too surprised. It is great seeing Tez and Mr. Brandon up in the top 10, of course. I am surprised to see Coasty in the McLaren. I don't know why.
Yeah, that was
but it doesn't surprise me that a McLaren isn't too high up in the wet.
Yeah. It's going to be tricky for him, I think. That is Lord Sakame Trolls. How are you doing? What's up, Kemosith? We got Kemosith, we got Cardo, Muff. Jathax is in here. Gingy's in here. Oh, man, we got so many good faces in here.
I do appreciate Mr. J. Brown running number 36 in the McLaren as well.
Oh, there you go.
It's like I'm looking in a mirror.
Soulful drivers.
Exactly.
James Brown and Trevor Jackson. Name a better duo. Here we go. We're getting ready to do our formation lap. We do full formation laps now, Sakame. I don't know how you feel about those versus the shorter alternatives. But let me jump up to the front here. So we got a nighttime start, 8:11 p.m. I believe it is a 2x time progression with wet weather. 80 minutes, open pits. Looking at the track condition, 18 degrees on track. Let's switch over to the basic HUD real fast. That is master volume. I don't want that. I want the weather. So it looks like we got rain decreasing in about 15 minutes. Track condition is wet, though. So it's going to be, depending on how the weather fluctuates, we could see a dry line forming. We could see an actual, like, solidly dry line by the end of this race. So it's going to be interesting. Nighttime in the wet. What are your thoughts, sir?
I would be terrified, especially if I was anybody in VR.
It's going to be...
No, but that's some of the most immersive and fun racing, in my opinion, in terms of immersiveness.
Yeah, it is really good. It is really good to see the wet weather effects in ACC. Does a really good job.
Oh, yeah.
Just looking through more of the chat stuff. Man, you've been keeping up with chat so much better than I have. I've just been drinking in the fact that I've got, like, a co-caster back. It's you co-casting with me. We're doing an endurance race at Kyalami. This is a lot of fun. Real quick before we finish this lap out, we're about to approach Crocodiles. You're watching 949 Sim Racing Community. We're in the 949 GT Sprint Series Round 4, Kyalami, the 80-minute endurance format. In the booth with me, Trevor J. on Twitch TV, Sakame on YouTube. Know him, you love him.
Howdy, howdy.
Thank you so much for doing this, Trevor. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me.
I'm really looking forward to this. 80 minutes, man. So, open pits. 80 minutes. What do you think? Can anybody one stop it? Can anybody no stop it?
I haven't kept up with updates in terms of... Oh, did Hutch get Ryan at the end of qualifying? I just realized. Hutch
I think
P3.
he did. Yeah, Hutch is P3.
I don't know if any sort of fuel conserving has been changed or anything. I imagine Bentley's might be able to one-stop it. I think most people could be able to one-stop it, to be honest.
So Cardo says one stop is totally possible. Exclamation point coach in chat if you would like more of those factoids and deep insights from ACC with the man himself, Cardo Huesca.
The man himself.
Oh, wow.
Ryan getting a little feisty.
Ooh,
3 wide.
buddy. That is a spicy meatball. So,
Spicy meatball. A little bit of contact between Luke and Josh.
yeah, hoping everybody plays it smart through the first couple of corners because it's tricky in the wet. Don't ruin your race. It's an 80-minute race. Still a lot to play for.
Ryan is off the track.
Was it a bump or just Porsche things?
That looked like a bump to me.
Interesting.
He was side by side with Josh, I believe it was. I think they just kind of ran out of room coming into sunset.
So switching through the field real quick. We're still waiting for the broadcast app to give us a little bit more interesting information on the relative, but you know what will actually make that relative like useful? Is if I actually show it to you. So we'll let that update, and then we'll use that relative to kind of put us around to see kind of what's going on. Ryan did lose a number of positions on the start with that bump into sunset. On board with Dan Tazaro, who's trying to fight off Mr. Zach Patterson. So
Looks like
Dan,
there's an
go ahead.
incident on track, sorry.
Yeah, we
Car
got. Go ahead.
360 or 364, sorry.
Car 364. That is Mr. Will Campbell. Oh, we got pit entries for Brevin Yesk, Justin Beachley, Steve K, JQ started from the pits. Jose Guzman, I think, might have started from the pits as well.
Interesting.
So it's going to be tricky. We've got same buttons on your wheel and keyboard as when driving. Yes. Yeah, I've got that taken care of. Justin says he got destroyed. I'm sorry to hear that, Justin. Is it going to be able to, like, repair and try and get 75% distance so you can get that 10 points? Where are you at in the standings right now? Beachley. Inside the top 5. 4 points from Brevin. 8 points from Cole to get inside the top 3. Might be worth it. You never know. Cole may have a bad race. Brevin may have a bad race. On board with Tez, who's about 1.8 back. Looks like he's holding up this field a little bit like a cork in a bottle. Let's check in, though, with Ed Kerstetter, who's trying to move up the order. On board with the 949 Maka. So the Maka and wet, you were saying earlier, tricky combination.
A little bit, especially because, I mean, again, I don't know how these cars are feeling in this current update right now. I think I did about 10 laps in the McLaren at Spa 2 days ago. From what I remember, the McLaren, I mean, it was okay in the wet. It's just tricky to get the balance right, in my experience, in terms of ride height. Because it likes using almost no ride height, but in the wet you need a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit of rake in there. So finding that balance is going to be tough, but I mean, up into the top 10, he's doing pretty good with it. Coming into
go ahead.
pressure with Ryan as well.
The thing about Ed in particular is Ed, if I remember correctly, because of just his job and stuff like that, most of the 949 races for him are practically arrive and drive, and just raw ability to just like sit in the car with like minimal drive time and just start like getting faster and faster and faster. It's like it's amazing to watch, dude.
Wow, if he's arriving and driving and putting it in the top 10, that's pretty good. That's pretty sweet. Hutch has the fastest lap of everybody right now.
Yeah, Hutch is doing that thing we were talking about earlier in the stream, right? Like, Hutch has this innate ability to, like, in mixed conditions, just pull the right strategy call. And not only that, too, it's almost like, Hutch, if Hutch makes the strategy call and it's the right one, it's like the universe just immediately, like, binary flips everyone to the wrong one.
Yep.
It's so bizarre. So right now the Astons in the wet seem to be putting in work. We got 3 of them inside the top 6. 2 M4s. Inside the top 7 for the M4s. But that Lexus, man, Southall in the wet, just doing things.
Southall in general, man. In general.
JQ having some seriously terrible luck. Got teleported on the formation lap. So started from the pits. Then hit a car that was either spun or stopped. And then got a stop and go 30 seconds. That is massive F's in chat for JQ. Hutch is just keeping Josh and Luke in touch here. We're going to keep our eye on that development. Let's look at the data for the rest of the field. So Ryan's going to be on a bit of a recovery drive, taking a little bit of a bonk. Gonzo over here, Mr. Nick Gonzalez from Protocharge SimSport in the Bentley, did find his way around Brandon Meyer. Ed Kerstetter looks like he's about to find his way around. Sean Piner's like, Tez is in 4th, let's go. Mr. Piner.
It is great seeing him up there. He's also pulling away a little bit from Zabzi.
Yeah, about 1.3 seconds between Zabzi and Tez right now. So all of that talk before about Tez holding up the field, that's out the window. Like,
He is a true gamer.
yeah,
right
true gamer. And Philip making a call about someone's race performance, or as I like to call it, a normal day where I'm just wrong. So looking through
Oh, we've got a spin from Ed Kerstetter.
Oh no.
Coming back on track.
That might be that Maka issue about ride height that you were talking about before. Will Brunner in the Firelight Esports entry in the mid pack here, 15th, 4/10 behind Kevin Blanchette in the Lexus. Now Kevin is like solidly, I'm trying to remember. I think he's solidly in Division 2, like middle of the pack, like P6 right now. And Brunner's second in Division 3 right now, and he is just catching these Division 2 runners up out on track in the AMG.
Yeah, he is putting in work.
And for the folks that don't know Mr. Will Brunner, he also is running the Tora World GT Endurance Championship. Exclamation point World GT if you are looking for information for their endurance weekends. Yeah, go check them out. Ike Guy, how's it going, man?
I do have to say, Kerstetter and Mr. Peter Greaves went side by side through Crocodile, and they did not make contact.
Well, that's just...
Oh, Ed's losing it again.
That's
coming into the F section. He either has that weird ride height thing going on with the McLaren. Oh, as he bumps number 60.
It's Brad
43?
Severs.
83, yes.
The Firelight Esports Maka.
Yeah, so Ed might be having a little bit of damage right now.
I also
Accentuating that.
wonder if with the decrease in rain, I mean, it is wet conditions on track. I'm pretty sure most of the field probably went out on wets. I hope so.
There's no way you'd be able to get away with slick tires on this. I'm looking in their first person point of view. Yeah, no, maybe in like, my guess would be 45 minutes or so at the earliest for wet tires. The rain's going to be decreasing about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But then it takes much longer for a dry line to actually be usable.
On board with Paula Brady in Scrubs Go Racing Donk for Hire Audi R8 GT3. Currently 16th in the field, Division 3 runner. 1.313 behind the Division 4 Tag Heuer Porsche entry of Tyler Kozlakis, who's a half second behind Brunner. So we got a bit of Division 3, Division 4 spiciness up in the mid-pack here. And I'm digging it.
Mid-pack racing is the most positive chaos ever. Like, it's the greatest chaos. Like, in a good way, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because when it works out for you, it like feels super. But when it doesn't work out, it's just like, well, I was in the mid pack anyway.
Exactly.
Mom of Cap, let's check in. I do think. So Chris, back of the field. I think he's on a bit of a recovery drive in the R8. I need to go back and take a look at the accident data to see where that might have happened in pit wall. But let's look and find where is Patty. Patty's in P23 right now in the Ryder.
What a legend.
I'm telling you, he's been rocking that Ryder all season. The shag wedge. That wonderful Alcantara triangle. It is the interior of that car you just get lost in. It's so supple.
That is a way to describe that, yeah. It's very
it's
80s,
fuzzy.
90s Honda Civic, you know.
I mean, back in like the 60s and 70s, people were like, "Yeah, well, you know, I've got a van with like carpet in it." And then Lamborghini was like, "Well, what we're going to do is we're going to make a supercar with carpet in it." It's like, "What? What were you thinking?"
And race it nonetheless.
And race it, yeah. Customers, He said his car equals bad. I mean, he's in the rider. He's got no one to blame but himself. But at the same time, he's got no one to congratulate but himself. Because if he does anything in that car, Chris is saying Coasty spun in front of him and he met the wall. I'm sorry to hear that. M. Taylor Racing, Oralos is saying hello. How are you? He says it's been a while.
Mr. Oralos. I'm doing pretty fantastic. Hope you're doing good, man.
Back in with the Protocharge boys. Let's ride on board, actually, with Mike Moening in the Scrubs Go Racing Chum Motorsports entry. Just stuck in the spray right now.
There's a lot of spray, isn't there?
There is a lot of spray. Yep.
Hutchings is starting to fall back a little bit from the top two.
Yep, 1.2
I did see him
between
go
them.
wide.
Go ahead.
About turn 5. I did see him go wide about turn 5, so I don't know if he's struggling with tires or what. I cannot imagine he'd have damage, but...
Did you miss anything? So at the front, Southall is still holding about a half-second gap on McKean. Hutch has dropped back. That's what Trevor was just talking about right now. Oh, I thought that said Beamer. I totally auto-modded that and didn't mean to. I thought it said Beamer. Okay. Yeah. I also thought you meant Beamer, Gingy. Yeah, reported. That's fine. I deserve it. Canceled. Yes.
Car number 2, Mr. Brandon Meyer, just fell back quite a lot.
Yeah, if I'm looking through the data right now, I don't see anything from a report for an accident involving Brandon. But you are right. He is moving down the order. Let's take a quick look at the car and see if we can tell what's going on. I don't see any serious damage, but he has fallen back into the clutches of Cody Grace in the Adept 43. I know, Gingy. I totally goofed that up as well. That's on me. I had an opportunity to save you, but my old boomer eyes also missed it, and therefore we're both canceled. Just delete Twitch from your phone. It's over. Let's look through the data. Carlos Guzman catching up to Paula Brady right now. So in the Arcane entry, let's get a little bit more screen real estate. Ooh, dodging an accident there. Paula Brady got caught up in it as well.
Oh, wow.
Man, I believe that was... the wet weather is just catching people out in a big way.
This is what makes wet races so much fun, you know?
It's wild. It is so wild. So we got an hour and 4 minutes left. We got an 80-minute race. Open pits. We talked about at the start of the race that zero stop is totally in the cards. But from the perspective of the weather being a factor here, and let's move my dumb mug out of the way for a moment and pull up real quick the weather data. As soon as I figure out what buttons I'm using. So the rain is continuing to decrease over the next 5 minutes and the next 15 minutes. 18 degrees still on track. If anybody decided to go half and half and switch to dry tires mid-race, or with, you were saying 45 minutes to get a really usable dry line. What do you think of the idea of somebody going in half and half or 60-40 and then switching to the dries for the last bit?
You can't... The tricky thing with these types of races, you can't, come in with that sort of mindset. Mm-hmm. You have to... Ooh, Josh and Southall coming together.
Oh, no.
Hutch is up to P2. Mr. Josh got a little hip checked a little bit. Lost quite a bit of ground. Mr. Tez is going to start looking at him, thinking that is a nice-looking Aston Martin snack.
if anybody is looking for a caster that can totally stay on top of where the action's at, I know this guy. His name's Trevor. Sure and check him out on Instagram. His band's name's Reaction Phase. Go check out the Bandcamp. It's good songs.
Something like that. Their singer's kind of bad, though.
Their singer's kind of... Really?
And the singer's definitely not me on those songs.
You're a terrible liar. A half second between Southall and Hutchings after the touch. Or not after the touch with McKean. McKean dropped back almost 5 seconds. Tez is getting a sniff. I've been watching a lot of V8 supercars, so I'm adapting to their lingo. Oh, he's getting a sniff. You know.
There you go.
Tez, 0.7. Oh, looks like
fire from Mr. Zabsy.
Yep. Let's actually jump in and take a look at that fight because that's starting to turn into a spicy meatball.
Absolutely. Yeah, if Tez can stay within that 7.10s, he can stay in the draft.
Indeed.
Mr. Josh. Hopefully Josh doesn't have any damage, but from the perspective of Tez, you'd hope he does.
Let's look. So Gingy's asking about Muff.
Muff?
Where is
Down
Muff,
to
actually?
P33.
Oh, down to P33. So must have gotten into some early chaos because both him and Chris McNichol are already a lap down. Got a few recovery drivers trying to get it together after the repairs. Steve K, Justin Beachley trying to get that 75% distance to get that 10 points. With the standings the way they are, and you can see that for yourself if you go to ! Site and chat. The division standings, I don't know if you've taken a look at them, Trevor, or not, but there's a lot of margins where 10 points will help you.
I am going to pull that up.
And speaking for somebody who knows from experience, consistency in finishing races can lead to not one but 2 championships in the 949 GT Sprint Series. You know a guy who's done that before?
I believe the 2-time back-to-back 949 Esports Professional Championship, Mr. Sakame, has done something like that.
I'm glad you added those qualifiers because you totally tanked my joke. Because I was just gonna say, I was gonna say you were gonna start talking about all the stuff related to like your seasons, and then it's like, oh, you were talking about yourself. I was talking about Luke because he's the other 2-time. But you getting the back-to-back did qualify, so that is you are the only back-to-back champion. That is true.
Yeah, I do have to preface that was when there was like 12 drivers on track, but
one of them was Luke Southall.
Yes.
In fact,
both of them were against Luke, I believe.
Yeah. So, but Luke, man, this season in the Lexus, something else, man. There's just something else in the way he's been driving this season. It has just been masterclass to watch. We got some mid-pack action between Blanchette and Brunner now. 0.6 between them. I was really thinking that Blanchette in Division 2 in the Lexus was going to hit a little bit harder because the Lexus is one of those cars that always performs in the mid to upper pack in wet races, but it looks like Blanchette is struggling big time.
Does seem that way. It's very surprising. Is that the only other Lexus besides Southall?
JQ was in, but JQ dropped after the early shenanigans that sent him in the pits with damage and a stop-go penalty.
That's right.
What is up, World Rally family? Mr. Nathaniel Tragic. How are you doing? Bounty Fuzz is like it's Trevor J commentator now. I mean, for today, maybe more to come. I don't know.
I mean, if it's going good for you, I'm down.
Dude, any Thursday you want to come hang out in the box with me and talk about cars on track? We're good to go. We're good to go. Josh McKean does have the fastest lap out on track right now, and he has taken about a second out of Pete Hutchings. So Josh, with the bump, must have not taken too much in the way of damage because he's back on the charge. Let's get the picture-in-picture pulled up. We got the two angles of this Kevin Blanchette, Will Brunner fight going on, and there's actually a little bit of traffic buildup behind. We got Brunner, Guzman, Brady, and they're all about 1.4 seconds from one another.
Yeah, that's a spicy fight brewing up.
Oh, man. A real quick shout-out to people that partner with us. We really appreciate the support from a lot of people in the sim racing community that work with 949 and that we get to work with and have a lot of fun with. Exclamation point TSR if you're looking for the Trackalicious sim racing folks. Exclamation point Enduro if you're interested in participating in the Trackalicious 949 Winter Endurance Championship. Round 3 is this weekend at Nürburgring, 2 hours and 40 minutes. Good group of guys, hoping to get some more people registered in. I think we have 25 registrants for round 3. Be sure and check that out. They will have a track guide with Mr. Cardo Huesca, CRS, exclamation point coach in chat. That should be a good walkthrough, so be sure and check that out on Trackalicious, twitch.tv/Trackalicious. So we got 56 minutes left in this race. I've really got to get faster on cycling around to some of these close fights. Guzman and Paula, and it looks like...
And Grace.
Yeah, and Cody Grace and the Adept Porsche getting in the mix.
I just noticed Josh has the fastest lap right now, so we definitely shouldn't be counting him out. But Southall went from only 4/10 up on Mr. Peter Hutchings, now 3 seconds clear.
And Josh McKean is 1.1 seconds from Protocharge teammate. Not Protocharge teammate in the team championship, but in the same sports family. Mr. Pete Hutchings has only got 1.1 between him and Josh. He's going to have to put on a good defense. Or he might just not hold Josh up. He might be like, I'm going to let Josh skate. Fighting him is only going to make me slower. And they're pretty far clear of Tez, but, you kind of might be not get too defensive, risk a collision, and suddenly you're not P3 anymore. Hutch is pretty smart. He's going to make the right call.
I think Hutch is going to fight for that position personally because he's P11 in the standings right now. He's in a podium position right now. I don't want to say it's his best finish of the season because I don't know what his finishes have been recently, but for a very huge hollow points, I feel like he's not going to try to let that one go.
Yeah, and given the fact that we've got Chris out of it, Tez is in the fight. Piner's a drop for this week. A points haul from Peter Hutchings for a good race finish inside the top 3. That's gonna boost his rating pretty high up in Division 1, so you might be right there. Shy Guy is like, is that Mr. Trevor J, the man known to his fans as Sakame? He's known as Sakame on YouTube still, Shy Guy. And it's Trevor J on Twitch and your other socials, Instagram, Twitter. Well, Twitter, you're still Sakame. Or did you rename your Twitter as well?
I think I renamed Twitter.
So there you go, everybody. Be sure and check out it's Trevor J on Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter, and Sakame on YouTube. You're doing your sim racing stuff when you're going to get back in it over on YouTube. Is that right?
Yeah.
And as far as sim racing titles coming up, what sort of things are you interested in?
A lot more iRacing content, personally. Mostly because I think it's the easiest to color correct for me in terms of like video editing. And it's the easiest on my PC for recording and playing at the same time. Not to mention the very fantastic endurance races with the lovely boys at the 949 iRacing team.
Thank you. It's been a lot of fun when we've gotten to have you on as like a guest driver. We've never had the best luck, and I'm sorry about that. But the good news is that you did get your endurance win with the Turn 1 boys. Wasn't it at this track?
This track in these exact same conditions as well.
That has got to be tough, man. Kyalami for an endurance race, and I mean like an endurance race beyond like the 80-minute format. That's got to be crazy tough.
I mean, Jelani was there. We had one person, I think his wheel broke, if I remember right. So we had to split 24 hours between 3 people, I think, or 4 people, when it was supposed to be either 4 or 5, something like that.
Yeah.
Josh is putting a lot of pressure on Mr. Hutch right now.
Looks like Ryan just made his way around Zach, who lost it in Crocodiles. I don't know if there was contact between him and Tez. Where's Zach going to be able to get back on track? Looks like he got back on track behind Ryan. But let's jump in real quick. You were talking about this fight. P2.
Yeah, Josh tried to stick his nose in the hairpin just before Mineshaft. Didn't quite make it stick. So I think if he can stick literally right behind Hutch coming through Crocodile to make a move either at the last turn or at turn 1, that's going to be his best bet. Because he's definitely faster from what it seems like to me in the last, I don't know, 30 seconds or so I've been watching, that he's quicker in the 3rd sector. But yeah, that 24-hour race with Jelani, that was mind-numbing how... I mean, it was a great battle with us and I think another Aston as well, or a Ferrari or something like that, between the entire 24 hours. We were like kind of one of those things where they were a pit stop ahead or behind us, something like that. Sort of like what we had at, was it Le Mans?
Which one?
One year? Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think the second one. Or it was... No, you know what it was? I think it was at the 24 Hours of Spa. The one where we got 4th with Ripper.
Oh, yeah.
Where there was that team for 3rd that we were fighting with, that they were like a pit stop ahead, I think. Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that same sort of situation.
Man, that was such a good race. That was such a good race, too. That was the one, too, where if I remember correctly, Matt Coffin deleted a car that, like, spawned in front of him. Like,
yes.
at Pujon. That was just...
important development and something that is completely shocking. It took me by surprise. Hutch let Josh through almost Valtteri Bottas style. I don't want to call Hutch a Valtteri Bottas, but it was very deliberate him letting him through.
Valtteri, it's James. No,
Hutch, it's your boy.
Hutch is probably paying attention more to that fight with Tez and Ryan. And Ryan's like a freight train right now. He's 4/10 back from Tez. Zach lost at Crocodiles.
Right now,
Oh, what?
I was gonna say if I was Tez, I'd be letting Ryan through.
Yeah, Tez is looking to bring in a pretty decent haul of points. Currently in 9th in Division 1, tied with Chris McNichol, 42. But a 4th place finish, or 5th place finish actually, is still a really solid points haul for him in the rankings. And more points for the Turn 1 NA boys, which is going to be important because Brandon Meyer is in the pits. I think he might... I think he's 9 laps down, so I think that might be a race retirement for him, and that is super unfortunate. I'm just now reading through chat, and I see Dead Red from Banshee 2X, so big F for Brandon. Sorry to see that. Hope to get an opportunity to see a good recovery in the points for you in round 5. Tough luck. Just looking through the data, trying to find. This is kind of. Oh, here we go. Is Ryan? Ryan's just forcing the issue at Crocodiles.
Ryan says, "Thank you very much."
It's like, I will definitely take that. And while he goes through it, watch the Porsche do the little backside twitch through Crocodiles. I don't know how he I don't know how he drives that car without having the Just Porsche things, like, completely murder you.
I have never understood it. I tried taking the Porsche out in a PPR season. I think I did it in a 9for9 season as well, actually.
You did it. You did it. You did it for a little while. I think you ended up switching cars.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bit of a scrap in the lapped cars ahead of Mr. Ryan.
Yeah, and see, that's going to be Mason Hart, and I'm trying to see what the other McLaren is. Oh, that's the sticker bomb. That's James Brown. It's Godfather of Soul right there.
This is getting very spicy.
This
is why I love endurance racing.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Oh, Banshee was saying the car was undrivable out of nowhere.
Oof.
That is big F in chat, man.
I think Zapsy just had contact with a lapped car.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
He is well down. I don't know if he lost a place, but he's well off.
I don't think he did. Well, the data hasn't updated yet. Let's. Oh, wait a minute. No, I see the Chum Motorsport Aston in front of him, so he might have lost at least one position with that contact. Man, there's just so much action happening on track. It is kind of
crazy.
It's kind of hard to keep up. That is one thing I will say about Season 8 in particular that's been a challenge is with the big grid format and with Coasty's like, oh, we're doing big grids and we're also going to do pit precision and we're also going to do race weekend format. And I'm like, with a 50-car grid limit? Like, what did I do? Because trying to follow, like, the pit stop stuff, I just gave up at round 2. I was like, I can't follow this anymore.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's still not at, like, that 20-car cap or 30-car cap, whatever that was.
Yeah.
When it was in 2 different splits.
Yeah. It's, the drivers wanted to do big grid. Oh, man, big slide from Will Campbell. He saves it, though. Just escapes out to the kitty litter at Crocodiles, and he's going to live to fight another day. I don't even think he lost a spot out of that. But Paddy McNichol definitely gained some ground on him. Speaking of Paddy McNichol, where is the shag wedge on track right now? Oh, he's in a fight with Luciano.
Ooh.
We got a little 2-angle action on stream right now. Autopilot doing.
Up.
Oh, yep. Ryder giving him some problems. Oh man, side by side into mine shaft. Oh, what? Look at the ride. Oh, and they're touching. They are touching.
It's just a little shaggy kiss, you know?
Yep. He's just like, just be sure and brush up against my supple Alcantara. I mean, I don't understand why Alcantara is on the interior of a GT3 customer car. That thing after a race probably has to be like the nastiest wad of toilet paper you've ever laid eyes on.
Especially in a downpour like this.
Yeah, it's going to be disgusting.
Hey, if it's good enough for my sim racing steering wheel, it's definitely good enough for an actual GT3 car.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. And the Gallardo as a platform in GT3 is like the equivalent of like competing in motorsport racing with like a Model T. It's like it's old enough, folks. The Gallardo as a platform is old enough to have a driver's license. It is that old. Maybe
against the MP12 4C or whatever that McLaren was, right?
Yes, which is still an iRacing in GT3 category. Oh, a contact between.
Oh no!
Oh no! I think that was just a lockup. But he pulls off the side and lets him go, man.
Yeah.
Spicy battle. Ends in a little bit of tears. Zach Patterson fighting back, trying to get that spot back from Matt Menning. Or, excuse me, Matt Menning. Mike Menning. I'm going to get your name right, Mike. One entire stream at least once this season, or you're allowed to make fun of me. And to be honest, I don't even have to get it right. You're still allowed to make fun of me. Gingy's like, what is that acceleration coming from the rider? What that acceleration is probably it's probably like a Red Bull induced rage that rage grip that Patty's got on the steering wheel right now, trying to manhandle that car.
Yeah, if he's not white knuckling the entire time. First of all, I don't know how he's taking it around this track in the dry, but in the wet, yeah, that's something else.
It is. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. It is so great to get to do this with you, Trev. We got 42 minutes, 50 seconds left in the race. We got 38 people tuned in to watch round number 4 of the 949 GT Sprint Series at Kyalami.
I feel honored to be here.
Thank you.
I'm not worthy sitting here next to you. Well, virtually. Anyway.
Do not even go there. You know that's not true. The thing I will say is we've been doing this. We were talking about this earlier in the stream, but as we look at Gonzo, who's a little bit out of place right now, got 12.5 seconds behind Zach Patterson, and I believe
he is making a move, or he tried.
Looks like he might be a lap up to Ed Kerstetter. Let's look at. Let's see here.
Making a move into sunset. Mr. Zabsy makes it stick somehow. I say somehow because that car around sunset in the dry is a death trap. And he somehow made it work side by side.
Well, if anybody knows how to use the Honda as the equivalent of like a katana, it's going to be Mr. Patterson.
That is very true.
Can we run through the division leaders, please, in the race? So Division 1, top 3, all Division 1, Southall, McKean, Hutchings. Looks like Division 2, Mike Menning in 6th. Let's pull up the standings also a little bit side by side so that I can be a little bit consistent about this. 1 second, folks. So we got Mike Menning. Where is Peter, though? That's going to be the question. Where did Peter end up? As soon as I figure out how to put this on screen number 2. Oh, I keep moving this around like I've got a screen 2 over here. I'm dumb. So Mike Menning, he's in 7th overall, top of Division 2. Peter Greaves in P11 right now behind Shane Rees. So Shane Rees in Division 2, and then Peter Greaves. That's your Division 2 runners. Division 3, we've got Kemosith. And then, who else? Paula Brady and Will Brunner. Division 4, though, wildcard entry. Was a wildcard entry. Now a permanent mainstay. Rogerio Santos in the 177. In 14th, Tyler Kozlakis in P20. And then where's the next Division 3 runner? Or Division 4. Mason Hart, P25. Mason Hart in the Wonder Bread mobile is actually putting in work. Anyone in particular catching your eye on track right now? Mr. Jackson?
I mean, honestly, still Patty with that rider. He has fallen back a little bit compared to where he was about 3 laps ago. But the fact he's not in the wall is boggling my mind. It is pretty crazy seeing Mike Manning. Is that how you pronounce his last name? Moening? Manning? Menning?
Yep.
Up in P7 while his next rival is 4 spots back.
Yeah.
So that's a healthy gap.
A good chunk of change, too, if I remember correctly, because the gap between Nick Gonzalez and Ed Kerstetter is I think, a lap at this point. Let's double check just to be sure, because I could be wrong on that. No, they're on the same lap. But Ed Kerstetter is pretty far behind, 20 seconds back. So it's a
20.418.
It's a chunk of space between Menning and Greaves. Was Shane Rees, now Peter Greaves, homeschool racer on Twitch. Kevin Blanchett moves up ahead of Shane Rees in Division 2 in the Division 2 podiums places, now P11 in the overall. We're watching Kemosith right now, who's trying to chase down the T-Rex entry of Rogerio Santos, so Division 3 driver trying to chase down the lead Division 4 car. And I don't know if you think this is an interesting development or not with how we did the team championship this time, Trevor, but before, like, racing people inside your in different categories was not really useful. The overalls decided by the overall decides points for team championship. And we have mixed division teams in some of the entries. So, in fact, I look at the standings, which are up to date. I'm just kind of curious right now. Arcane Racing, which I believe has a Division 3 and Division 4 runner, still inside the top 7.
Wow, yeah,
with
that's
some
crazy.
other Division 2 and Division 1 and Division 2 teams inside the top 10. So, hats off to them.
Yeah, Santos is putting in some work, being 8 spots ahead of his next rival.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It is actually pretty wild. Moening right now. Zach did find his way around, and he's going to try and catch back up. 1.9. Oh, Tyler's Kozlak is getting nailed with the stop-go 30. I wonder if he had to go to the pits.
He was in the pits previously.
That's a big oof. Going to the pits in a race where I think a chunk of the field is either no stopping it or going to at least late one stop it. In fact, we should do a quick weather check. Let's find a battle that's...
Shane Rees is in the pits as well. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. I'm trying to find another close fight out on track. Chris McNichol, who recovered from near last in the field, now up to 23rd after taking some repairs.
So, Josh has cut Luke's 4-second lead down to 7/10.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. We'll stay in front with the front runners for a bit. Simple Zach Piner is a drop for this week. Hope to see him back in the car for round 5. In Division 1, kind of a bit of a mixed bag season for Sean. Sean really dominant in Division 2 last season. I think nailed a podium right off the bat. I need to go back and take a look at the Sim Racing GP results for the previous events, but Sean's had has had at least a good race in him in Division 1. And with this field as strong as it is in Division 1 this season, that's a statement. So, just looking at, let's see, quick weather check.
I think the track is starting to dry out a little bit.
Yeah, the rain has been steady reducing pretty much all night, but it is still dark. 9:47 on track with 34 minutes, 30 seconds left in the 80-minute endurance race at Kyalami for round 4 of the 949 GT Sprint Series. 17 degrees, cold temperatures on track, but drying conditions. Kind of curious if we'll get to a phase where the track goes to damp. But doesn't
Definitely going to be tight. Lap times are dropping about a second a lap the last 2 laps.
Race leaders are coming up to some blue flag traffic. Man, need more coffee already.
I've got a cup right here.
Switch back over to so car 9 gets the stop go cleared, back out on track. Oh, Brad Seaver's losing it right in front of the race leaders. Oh no. So Luke's got to go defensive.
Side by side. Josh is going to have a good run into turn 1 though if he can keep it on exit. Oh, he might be boxed in though.
Yeah, Luke's got him boxed in behind Seavers.
He is
off to the
absolutely going to
right.
make this 3 wide into turn 1 though. I can feel it. I feel it in my bones.
Seavers backs out of it. I think Severs just got caught out with a little bit of loss of traction out of Cheetah and caught the front runners by surprise.
Definitely. What Josh needs to do right now is maximize this exit. Try to get around him through Sunset. If he can't, then just hold off another lap.
Yeah, it's going to be a tricky fight. Let's get into the bonnet cam from the Aston. Oh no! Again, more blue flag traffic in front, and it looked like the Ukrainian Lambo. I believe that is. Why am I forgetting who is that in the Lambo?
It's the only Lambo on track, isn't it?
It is the only Lambo. Yeah.
That is Espiritu.
Oh, John.
Espiritu.
Yeah, John Espiritu. Yeah. Oh. Knock off track, but they get around it. Man, it is treasure. Now they got a lot of clear air before they hit the next car, but they're going through mine shaft right now, and the spray is real.
This is where Mr. Josh needs to maximize absolutely everything. Just stay on the back with him. Try to set it up for turn 1 again. I feel like that Lexus has a bit more straight line speed than the Aston, though.
Oh, one thing that you'll know about 1.8 that kind of like everybody's been laughing about is the straight line speed of the Lexus is just off the charts. It's just so stupid, man. Paul Ricard, it's just so stupid fast in a straight line.
Interesting.
Which, I mean, I'm like super happy about being a Lexus main. So, but
True.
But I'm
Well,
also
if that's the case.
Sorry,
go ahead.
I'm super slow anyway. So the fact that I've got a speed boost just puts me at the tail end of everyone else now.
There you go. Hey, that's better than being a lap down, right?
Yep, it is.
I'm not saying you're a lap down, but yeah.
Hey, you've known me long enough. I don't get near enough seat time as the rest of you guys, but it is a lot of fun to watch these guys out on track doing their thing. We're really focused in on this fight right now because we're a half second between the race leaders. Although actually, let's pause on this for a minute and jump back to Will Brunner and Rogerio Santos, where the fight still rages on between these two. So Santos giving Will Brunner a scrap into mineshaft. Straight line speed of the Maka really pans out for Santos. So it looks like Kemosith did find his way around Santos. Brunner's got to try and do the same.
Kemosith P1 in his division.
Yep, Kemosith is P1 in his division. We got Kemosith, Brunner, Guzman. So the P2, P3 in Division 3. That's been kind of a revolving door. Firelight Esports entry of Mr. Will Brunner trying to catch back up to the T-Rex Maka. Mr. Santos. So, your first time casting with us, Mr. Trevor Jackson. We got a half hour left in the race. How do you feel about it so far?
Hopefully I don't sound like a stuttering mess, really. This is my first time commenting anything serious. The only experience I've had is doing joke laps on stream, and that's about it. Trying to over-exaggerate everything.
Dude, you're doing just fine.
Hope I'm not cutting you off too much.
Oh, no. The thing is that, like, if it were real world and we were in the booth together, you would actually see my face and my mouth moving and not a delay on, like, a camera or something like that. It's really hard to do this sort of thing remotely, but you're doing great. And all the content and stuff has been fantastic so far. It's been a lot of fun to talk. Oh, Brunner and Santos come together.
Uh-oh.
But Brunner comes out facing the same direction. Santos not far behind.
A little bit of front right damage, probably, or front left.
Yeah, and the problem is, man, the Maka is so sensitive.
I don't know if you caught that, but Josh and Southall just split a blue flag car at the hairpin. Southall went to the inside at the last possible second, made Josh go around the outside. So that put him about 7/10 back.
I just love how these are both proto-charged SimSport, and they are giving each other no quarter whatsoever.
Yep. It is really, I feel like this is my first time seeing Luke really under pressure. It's interesting seeing it from like this perspective.
It's a lot of fun to watch these guys when, especially when a condition like wet weather or something really starts to mix things up. Although it's not really a mix-up in terms of these two. These two have been really quick all season. It's just a good mix-up because the conditions, I feel like, are pushing both these guys to the limits of their skill and ability. Because, you know, it's one thing to be good in driving in the wet. It's another to be good in the car that you've chosen. It's another thing to be good at Kyalami. It's really tough to be good at all three and race somebody who's good at all three just like you are.
Through blue flag traffic and wet weather conditions too.
It's pretty wild. It is pretty wild, I must say.
I think.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Oh, I was just gonna say, Josh, I feel like has the quicker overall package, but Southall's defense is delicious at the moment.
And it looks like of the 37 that we started with, we've still got 33 cars out on track. So the retirement numbers, even for a race that is going to be a bit about survival, it looks like got a lot of cars that are approaching that 75% race distance. Morphe hitting that pit wall link. We do have the live timing server up and running for you folks at home. Pit wall is free, by the way. Did I mention that? Like, it is free. Like, you can just go to the site now without an account and get the anonymous timing board, which is equivalent of what you would get from like Radio Le Mans or something if you were getting live timing from Le Mans. But if you sign up for the free account, like get an actual like user account, there's a free authenticated user board that offers a little bit more. And then they've got their light and pro packages that are pretty reasonably priced at, I believe, $12 and $24 a year. I do the pro package for the streams and stuff, and that is just a lot of fun. I'll pull that up real quick so you guys can see kind of what I'm talking about.
It's really good pricing.
In the meantime, this fight for the race lead is the hottest thing we got going, the second hottest thing we have going on track right now. Zabzi and Tez.
Right behind Tez.
Yep. Again. So
Josh losing the back end just a tiny bit. Southall had to take a bit of a compromise entrance into turn one of those turns. I don't know the track name.
Turn one of them.
Turn one of them, yes, exactly. That's how we actually came up with turn one. It was just turn one of them.
Turn one of them. That's terrible. All right, let's pull up some pit wall data while we're watching this live timing stuff. So if I actually take a look at let's actually look at Tez and Mr. Zabzi, because we were talking about them before. So we've got the live timing data pulled up, and we've got the difference between Zach Patterson on the climb looks like, actually,
I do have to say, I don't think me reading King of the Nerds saying something about his nub, I don't think that was on my bingo chart for this experience.
No, but there's a reason. So Matt accidentally cut off the end of his finger.
Oh.
I won't
is setting up a move on Southall right now, coming down to turn one.
So I get switched over to that real quick.
Don't know if he can set up the over-under again because, you know, as you were saying, Lexus tasty top speed, but he is all over his gearbox.
We got two angles for this fight now. Let's get actually from Josh's perspective. Let's do the onboard and then let autopilot handle the rest. Oh man, more blue lap traffic into sunset. Oh man, this is going to be
Luke is absolutely going to push him out.
So challenging.
Absolutely.
And the rider just trying to let him go.
I do think Josh got the better exit though.
Yeah, I do too. The problem is the S's is not really the place where you want to pass, but it is the place where you do want to unlock the mine punt.
Yes.
Got 2 battles happening right now. Zabzi and Tez going into Leo Cup. And I believe they're actually right behind. Yeah, they're actually right behind the race leaders.
How convenient.
Actually, I got that completely wrong. They're going in Leo Cup now. Like, I'm going to... Kyalami at night is dark. There's, like, no light whatsoever. It's wet.
Yep. I don't think anybody's going to be making a stop except for fuel.
You think fuel's going to be it?
I think that would be it. I can't imagine the track drying out that much in 20 minutes.
Well, somebody in particular who could pull that off right now with maximum effect would be Mr. Let's look. I think... Is Paula a lap up on Cody? Let's look. Yeah, Paula's
yes.
a lap up. A lap up on Cody, so could be a potential for taking a pit stop if not necessarily fighting with Campbell, but want to get maybe fresh rubber.
Yeah, play it safe a little bit.
Play it safe, yeah. Man, this battle with Josh and Luke right now is some spicy stuff. Let's get the reverse on this. It's like we got...
Zabzi's still not really able to make up too much ground on Tez. I feel like we start talking the same spot. I feel like we're that in sync.
Yeah, we're definitely focusing in on the same battles that are effectively spiciest thing we got going on track. I am also watching Homeschool right now. Mr. Peter Greaves, who in 10th in the overall, I believe is still 2nd in Division 2 behind
really
Mike
nice.
Manning. Oh, no, Josh just went off wide at Cheetah, and that's going to cost him big time.
The only thing that was good about that scenario is that he didn't auto spin into Narnia.
Yeah, the kitty litter just basically like takes you to the nether realm.
Yep.
It's like so you just lay in the sand and let it just like pull you in.
I think this is going to be a good indicator as to how much faster Josh's car is compared to Southall, just because I don't know if he can catch up be within 3/10 in the same half a lap, then he's going to be.
It's gonna be a tough defense from Southall's perspective.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh yeah, Matt. I hear you on that. The main reason why we do the race times the way that we do is because I'm old. That's pretty much it. Like before, it was Wednesdays and Thursdays were the stream night because those were the nights when Beltan was off work, and then the 7 p.m. start time was purely like Philip's a boomer, so we need to give him time to go to sleep, or he cries into his oatmeal in the morning. So.
Yeah, remember, King of the Nerds, Mr. Whelpcakes here gets up at 4 in the morning, so.
Yeah, I get up at 4 in the morning now because I was not a smart person when I decided to move, like, basically an hour and 15 minutes traffic-wise away from where my physical therapy happens. That's just me being dumb. Hopefully I'll be out of physical therapy at the end of April, fingers crossed, so.
Hope so.
19 minutes left in this race. 4/10 between the race leaders. Let's talk about other close runners. We got 9/10 between Tez and Zach. I'm looking through the data. Brunner's 1.7 behind Kemosith. Trying to see if there's any other gaps that are like really sticking out to me as...
I think the next closest would be the Mr. Shaggy Boy himself, Paddy McNichol, 3.9 seconds behind Kozlowskis.
Kozlakis.
Mr.
Mr. Tyler Kozlakis in the Tag Heuer Porsche. But being in the UK, I can't promise I won't be too tired to race this late. Well, you know what you could do, Morphe? You could register. Oh, here's the move.
Yep.
Oh, here we go.
The inside, he's got to get a good exit.
Yep. Good exit.
Pinch him wide.
Drag race down into the S's.
Yep.
Drive-through penalty for car 11. And Luke had the inside line. They come together again on the exit of the S's.
Wow.
So Luke can pull ahead, try and take the inside line.
It's going to be an over-under for Mr. Josh, I think, if he doesn't lock up. A little more contact. That's just Luke trying to push him wide. I think that's all friendly racing, personally.
Yeah, that's all fair play. Car 11, Steve K with the drive-through with 17 and a half minutes left. That's a tough pill to swallow. Oh, he gets a little bit of the grass on entry into Crocodiles. Wonder if tire degradation for the wets is starting to become a factor.
I would imagine a little bit of overheating might be an issue.
You driving around on greasy tires because the wets are getting a little hot?
Perhaps. Although it doesn't look like the track has dried out that much.
Yeah. Man, it has been a tough race, but man, the folks that stuck it out, getting the 10 points for a 75% race distance finish is going to make a difference, especially with this many people dropping this week. I think we had 7. But that's the great thing about the reserve driver list and the wild card entries. Like, we always get like close to that 40 car limit or over that 40 car threshold that really makes it a good big grid for most of these tracks.
Oh, yeah.
So we've been focused in on the race leaders for quite a bit of time now. I want to jump back and find somebody who's...
Brunner is 1.5 seconds behind Kemo.
Yeah, Kemo's going to have a fight on his hands for sure. Let's actually take a look at that for just a brief moment. We'll keep our eye on the race leaders. So Will Brunner's last lap was a 51.362. Kemosith had a 51.522. So Kemosith not really that far off, but 0.2 is going to make a difference inside 15 minutes if you can't keep it. Banshee says he's thinking about withdrawing from the season and may take a break for a bit. It would be sad to not have you in the rest of the season, Banshee, I will admit. But the thing that we always say here at 949, take care of yourself. Real life stuff comes first. So, no shame.
Hope you feel better, Mr. Banshee.
If you feel better enough to be in round 5, that's fantastic. But if you don't, be sure and take care of yourself. Matters more. You need to draw a line at punching your wheel in frustration. I can understand that. That is a tough thing to control sometimes.
I know that all too well.
Man, we're going to jump back at this race for the lead. Luke Southall
putting up a fantastic defense.
Yeah, and let's talk about. You want to talk about fantastic? So we're not gonna focus in on a fight for a minute, but we're gonna focus in on something that we all kind of like thought would happen. Hutch, third in overall, third in Division 1, just driving the Aston like it's a Sunday drive.
I would imagine, just from experience in being in a call with him in any endurance race, he is probably trying to stay awake. Well, I say that as he goes wide, so maybe he's awake now, but...
Oh, he did? Switch back over to that. Didn't look like he lost a lot of ground.
Tad wide.
9.4 seconds between him and Ryan, so he's got a safe buffer. But this fight right here, man, they're going around Rogerio Santos on the exit of the look-up hairpin, or Leo Cup. Which your boy Weza SA explained to me what Leo Cup was. That is Lion's Head in the native language of South Africa. That is the name of the peak of a mountain near Johannesburg.
Okay.
Yep.
I did not know that.
That track facts with Whelp Cakes.
He's been doing actual running at the track too, hasn't he? Or like at some sort of simulator facility.
I think
near there?
Weza has done some real racing, some track day stuff for sure. I don't know if he's done like some real world competitive stuff. If so, that's pretty baller. Into
Here goes a dive
Crowthorne.
from Josh.
Man, they are so close. It is. It's wild.
Has to let him go.
It is so wild. 949 Sim Racing, so wet, so wild. You heard it here first.
There has been many, many a time where I was in Luke's position and Josh was Luke on me.
Yeah. Yeah, for
You
sure.
kind of start learning where they're going to attack, and then you just, to be honest, you just do the same defense every time. A lot of the time it'll work. You got to change it up a little bit. But the trick is staying absolutely consistent and not paying attention in your mirror the whole rest of the lap.
Yeah, it's so tricky. Oh man, we got to focus in now on Mr. Brunner because he is taking the fight to Kemo. Taking the fight to Kemo in a big way. Exiting out of the Leo Cup hairpin now downhill. M4 versus AMG. World Rally family came for the racing, stays for the hijinks. Everybody, World Rally family, be sure and check him out on Twitch. The World Rally family, Mr. Nathaniel Tragic himself. Super positive streamer, does Dirt Rally 2, a little bit of AMS 2. Saw you launch ACC a little while ago, Nate. I got my eye on you.
Ooh.
Like I said, good, positive streamer, good, positive, non-toxic environment. Be sure and check him out. Also does racing with the barrel rollers. Really cool, dude. We got the double cam action going with this fight with Kemosith and Brunner. I'm going to keep my eye on Southall and McKean. Gap still got it at 0.3, 0.4.
I'm sat on Josh's rear wing because I got a nice view of the leader fight and then Brunner and Kemosith's fight.
Man, you got like multiple PCs like logged in, or you like is it like the Trevor J command center in
I've got like 7 monitors set up
in sunny San Diego here.
Exactly.
I say sunny, but it's probably got to be getting close to sunset over there.
It's right about golden hour.
Yeah. When's the heat kick on for you guys, or is it already on?
It's coming on and off, actually.
Yeah.
Right now it's kind of chilly, but it's yeah.
Weather fluctuations have been wild. Okay, so through the lap traffic now, race leaders. This is going to compromise Brunner's race with Kemosith, but he didn't cause too many problems for him. But the thing is for Brunner, stick to the back of McKean because you know he has the Sky Q interactive board set up.
Oh, you know it.
Yeah. We're gonna go to the Sky Pad with our man on the ground, Mr. Trevor Jackson.
Yeah, well, Kicks, I've just stood here at the end of pit lane watching the leaders come by.
Oh, man. So Brunner's got to stick to the butt of Josh McKean if he can, because when these two catch up to Kemosith, he could potentially get a windfall because they're going to push him wide into Crowthorne. Meanwhile, he gets to take the normal line, and just like that, folks, he's back into probably within a second of Brunner. So here's the thing, man. I do want to try and get a TV set up in the new room, because I think it would be hilarious to do like a gimmicky, like 949 Skypad.
That would be fantastic. I'd pay to help you do that.
I need to find like the dumbest outfit to wear. Like my wife is big into doing crafts and stuff like that. Maybe I'll have her like make up something stupid for me to wear. Let's jump in with the actual race for the lead. We're gonna jump back into this. Southall, Josh McKean duking it out. A little bit more blue flag action. This is Sievers. This is a partner of Brunner in the Firelight Esports outfit, Borat outfit. I don't know if I can I do that on stream? Will they DMCA me for doing like a like?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, there's people that do cosplay.
Oh yeah,
that's
true. That's true. It is parody. You do get a bit of a parody protection for that.
I mean, I cosplayed Dr. Disrespect. Actually, got banned off of Twitch, so I think you'll be good.
Yeah. That you did do. That is something that you did, and it's been immortalized on Twitch with the. Yep, there it is,
baby.
So we're tuned in. 7.5 minutes left in round 4 of the 949 GT Sprint Series at Kyalami, the 80-minute endurance format.
Whoa.
What is that?
Ryan is back in P16 and 2 laps down, or 1 lap down. Yeah, 2 laps down.
Yeah, something must have happened.
No idea what happened to him.
Just down into the cellar.
Zabsy just got around Tez.
Zabsy moving up into P4. Hard fought, and probably got to be super happy with finally getting the move done on the import from the other side of the Atlantic, Turn 1 NA's own, Dan Tizarro, driving around in the rolling butthole, a.k.a. the M4.
That is a great name.
At least it's not the M6.
I think Josh is starting to lose patience a little bit. He's getting really unlucky with some blue flags, so he's starting to lock up a little bit.
That is going to be not what you want to see. You got to be cool, calm. You got to be cool, calm, and collected to try and pull a fast one. Oh, Tez is fuel saving for his life. Well, there's the strategy call from Banshee for anyone in the Protocharge or Scrubs Go Racing family. Fire that signal flare. We've got a Dan Tizarro ran long like usual, but may have ran a little too long.
I am surprised to not have seen anybody come in for the pits for any sort of fuel.
I mean, some people are probably able to run the 80 minutes like with no. Yeah, Zabsy.
I'd imagine
Zabsy's going to be good on fuel. Zabsy's good. The human calculator, like the physical embodiment of like Euclidean geometry. Like, yeah, sure. Yep. He's good on fuel.
Yep, he's like that living. He's the living embodiment of that GIF that has that lady just with math figures floating around her head.
Indeed. He's got 4 laps left of fuel. Well, he's got 5 minutes left in this race, so sounds like he's got it figured out. What did I tell you? What did I tell you guys? 3 things. 3 things. Sun rises in the east. Cereal's cold soup. Zabsy, always a threat.
Always. I just saw you guys have merch.
Yeah.
I didn't know you guys had merch.
Yeah, I made up some merch because I was like, we've been doing this for a while now, and I don't have any 949 swag. Well, that's not true. Beltan did make some prototype gloves once and sent them to me, and they're awesome, and I use them all the time. But we didn't have any like normal swag in the works, like hoodies or coffee mugs or T-shirts. Division 1 is like F1 past 8 years. One team wins all the time. Well, we got 5 more years to prove that wrong. Oh, here it comes the dive.
Big old
the dive.
contact.
That was a big old dive too. That was like from Nowheresville. That was like that was a big old. I mean, he was within 3/10. It's just like between these two, 3/10 is
quite a margin.
It's quite a margin.
I feel like if it was in the dry, that would have worked.
I just love how this fight has been going the whole time. Like, the whole time. Talking about...
Mike Moening is 1/10 back from...
Mike Moening is past Tez, because Tez is, like, in shopping cart mode. Like...
Oh, no. Tez.
Tez.
My boy.
Tez. Man. So we will be...
Oh, Josh is backwards.
Josh is backwards? What?
And in the wall.
Oh, no. And that is that's Hutch going around him. Is Zach Patterson going to catch him? Zach's not that far back. They come together, and that is Kajtezovic.
He has to have some huge damage or something.
Been a great race as always, Gingy. I'm glad you've enjoyed the show. Again, Trevor, thank you so much for doing this, man. We got 2 minutes and 36 seconds left in this. It's been a blast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I feel like it went by super quick.
It does. It does. It goes by super quick. And me, usually my brain is like straight up baked potato by the end of it. Like if you
I could see why.
tried to get me to do any kind of really sophisticated math equations, like can you tell me how much like 2 nickels and a quarter is? Like I'm gonna nope. I'm gonna nope right on out of that. Like
Kosi is putting a lot of pressure on Mr. Homeschool Racer. 3/10 back. Battle of the McLarens.
Man, let me tell you, dude. We're at 9 o'clock. I am not sure if we are going to have enough time to do the post-race interviews. Let me double check real quick. I just want to see if... Because usually we throw it over to TSR. Don't see them online.
Homeschool just went off. No.
Homeschool goes off. That's going to upgrade Mr. Kajtezovic.
Just a tad bit wide.
To P9. Ooh, Hutch. Already losing ground to... Well, he was losing ground to McKean. McKean hasn't lost too much time.
He has the fastest lap.
It is off this week because of the Enduro Shy Guy, but they are going to do a track walk. So, Mr. Eric Gukasian just let me know that they're going to go live momentarily, so we're probably going to skip the interviews to get you guys over the track walk. Again, exclamation point Enduro if you want to participate in that wonderful Trackalicious Sim Racing 949 Winter Endurance Championship. 2 hours and 40 minutes in Nürburgring. Can anybody do anything about the father of Trevor Jackson, Mr. Mike Jackson? I don't know. I don't know if it's possible.
Absolutely not.
No idea if it's possible.
Well, okay. You know what's funny, actually, is there hasn't been an incident yet with this, but I have this feeling that one day he's going to have an incident with one of our cats going behind his pedals.
That's terrifying.
I had issues with, well, I don't want to say issues because it was hilarious, but my cats like jumping onto my lap when I was driving, and I could not steer past about 20 degrees either direction.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious.
Ryan pipping the fastest lap.
Ryan is pipping the fastest lap because them drier conditions in the Porsche. If he went back, it's gonna be Saturday, Dad. So this Saturday, 2 hours and 40 minutes of Nürburgring. Should be a real banger. Be sure and check it out. Exclamation point Coach, the man who just PogChamp in Hype Conda in chat, Mr. Carter Huesca. CRS. Good group of dudes. Tez didn't make it. Did Tez run out of fuel?
No.
Oh, no, Tez, man.
Southall's coming around the final corner.
Yep.
Of the last lap.
Man, just dominating this season. Just, like, we got quick boys in Division 1, but there's just something about Luke this season. He's just got it figured out. Taking the win at Kyalami in the wet. Pete Hutchings. Just
Mr. Consistent.
Mr.
That's what I was telling you, right?
Big brain plays. Big brain plays. Big brain. I mean, it actually is on his birth certificate. It's Peter J. Big Brain Hutchings.
Exactly.
Josh McKean taking the slide, but taking third place.
Unfortunate not getting P2, but that was a very...
Still good points. Still going to be close. Zach Patterson taking fourth. That's going to be a good points haul for him. Mike Moening, Division 2, taking the top spot, coming across the line, P5 in the overall. Gonzo, who was Nowheresville in the mid-pack, coming across the line in 6th. Tez, where's Tez at? Is Tez going to make it in 7th? Man, his car is like shopping cart rolling. Where's Ed at? Is Ed going to catch him?
2.5 seconds back. He might.
So close, dude. So Tez, listen
he's gonna hold it.
Listen to the low roar of the M4. Comes across the line, taking 7th. Kerstetter in 8th. Coasty in 9th. It's coming out of Cheater right now. And then we got Peter Greaves, Blanchette, Kemosith, Santos. So Kemosith, top Division 3. Santos, top Division 4. What a finish for him. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Let's jump into the...
What a race.
It was, man. What a race indeed. The conditions, such a challenge. No lie. Let's get over into the garage, pulling up those timetables. So Luke Southall, Pete Hutchings, Josh McKean, Zach Patterson, Protocharge in 1, 2, 3, 4. Mike Moening, putting the Scrubs Go Racing Chum Motorsport Aston Martin, Division 2 runner in P5. Wicked out of place. Looking at other Division 2 runners, Peter Greaves, Kevin Blanchette, that's your P2, P3 for Division 2 there. Division 4, Kemosith, Will Brunner, Will Campbell. And Division 4, we've got Rogerio Santos, Tyler Kozlakis, and John Espiritu. That is your division podium spots for the 80 minutes of Kyalami. Now, what we're going to do real quick is while we are getting ready to send this on over to Trackalicious for their track walk around Nürburgring in prep for the 2 hours and 40 minutes of Nürburgring. Be sure and check that out. ! Enduro, ! TSR in chat. Just waiting for them to go live and send it on over. Mr. Trevor Jackson is in the booth with me tonight. That was a lot of fun, Trevor. I hope you had a good time. I know I did.
That was a blast.
This was a very interesting experience. You're welcome to come back and do it again. Be a lot of fun to have you.
I think I might take you up on that.
Season 8's been a real banger, man. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the rest of the season's got on offer. Now, for the folks that don't know, we've got the Dealer's Choice is about to launch after... Well, actually, so since there isn't a GT4 race that Kosie's in this week, I think the poll will probably go live a little bit earlier. I'll have to check in on it with him. But the drivers will get to pick from 3 tracks tonight. They've got 24 hours to pick. And then from the poll, that'll pick what's going to be for round 5. What is the format for round 5? Round 5 is going to be a doubleheader format. So 2 races, half points. That is going to be interesting. So we've got a 12, a noon race and a 2 p.m. race at 2X. 25 degrees. Track to be decided. So we'll see what that poll looks like after 24 hours, and we'll get that started. Yeah. What are you thinking? So for a doubleheader, what kind of tracks kind of like pop out in your head as like good picks?
Well, I always say Spa because I have a extreme lust for Spa. I would probably honestly go for Misana would be a good one.
Mhm.
Probably Bathurst and Donington as well.
Like for me, for like doubleheader formats, like I really like racing those short like GT track formats, but we got the big grids going. So I think if you're going to try and push that kind of like road course format where you're not running like the super endurance circuits like Suzuka Spa, Kyalami, those types, I'm thinking Barcelona is a really good pick for that. I'm also
I can see that.
thinking for the doubleheader format. So I'm trying to think of tracks that we've already seen so far. And it's so tough. People hate Snetterton, but I think Snetterton's a good track for short races. Kind of same deal with like Brands Hatch, but that's me. Like I really love the British GT tracks. Sebring, Indy Road America, that would be fantastic. I mean, you know, the great thing about the series format, because we're doing for this season, Sakami, we're not using the championship format in Sim Racing GP. We're using the series. It gives us the opportunity that if a different track becomes available through like DLC or something, we can insert it into the poll if it comes up in the 3 random selections. So it's like perfect for that sort of thing. So it could, I mean, Banshee, like just send a letter to Eris, just write a sternly worded note, say, WTF, man, where's my American tracks? What's the worst he's going to say? No. Actually, I don't know if they can perm ban you from ACC or not. They might be able to. Anyway.
Has there ever been any permabans in ACC before?
You know what? I really don't know. But
there was that one huge cheater. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. Yeah, there have been cheaters that have been caught before, but yeah. Anyway, we are going to get set up to send you guys over to the Tracklicious Sim Racing folks. Be sure and say hello from 949. They're a good group of guys. They're taking a week off from the GT4 format, but they're going to have a track walk with Mr. Carter Huesca around Nürburgring. We'll be back next week. Hopefully, I'll be back on Wednesday to do some LFM. And then, you know, Thursday we'll do it again, 949 GT Sprint style in the way that we do. Again, Trevor, this is a blast, man. I hope you had a lot of fun. Looking forward to doing this with you again. And everybody, be sure and check out Trevor on his socials. It's Trevor J on Twitch TV. It's Trevor J on Instagram and on Twitter. Sakame on YouTube. It's been awesome, dude. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So let's get you all sent over to Trackalicious and say hello to Eric and Cardo. Until next time, I want you all to be sure and stay safe and stay healthy out there. Be sure and leave space for one another out there, because you know it's a crazy world, but it's always good to have people you can rely on. Until next week, see you guys later.
Bye-bye.